r/AskReddit by Reddit. Teachers of Reddit, what's the saddest thing you've heard a student say? I work as a paraprofessional for kids in grades K to 5, and I kind of hop around from kid to kid and help wherever I can. A lot of my one-on-one students are special education or have learning disabilities, so my approach to working with them is being open to their interests and talking to them in between work. You'd honestly be surprised how well this works, just letting them tell you about their day or fortnight or their weekend. Now I have had issues with stuff like this with a few kids, but the one that sticks out to me is this boy in my 5th grade class. He has both learning disabilities and issues with emotional processing. He's a very large kid at 10 years old, taller than I am. One day I come into the room to find him sullen and quiet, and I ask him if he'd like to come out in the hallway and talk to me. At a bit of probing he told me that one of the kids in his class told him he should die, that nobody likes him. At one point he just whispers, "I just want someone to love me." It absolutely broke my heart. I struggle with feelings of not feeling loved myself, so I told him, "You know I love you, right? You're my friend and I always look forward to seeing you every day." We ended up taking a walk around the school just chatting to get his mind off things, and I told the social worker. Ever since then he's been one of my best students. Yes, he still doesn't want to do his work, but he's always excited to see me, and one day, when I came to class with a pulled muscle in my leg, he helped me walk to his seat and pulled out a chair for me. It's honestly one of the moments in my life where I feel I made a difference. Edit. Oh my god, thank you for all the kind words and the silver. It's so nice to hear how happy this makes all of you. To me, I'm just doing my job by bringing kids up and giving them that positivity they also need. This really inspires me to continue what I'm doing, so thank you so much. Ex-wife taught 1st grade in a school district known mostly for trailer park crime. At Christmas, she had her kids write stories about the best thing about the holidays. One extremely impoverished kid wrote that he was excited that Santa was going to let him pick out a single box of cold cereal that would be his and his alone, and he could pick from anything in the grocery store. Mom was dead ass broke, working 2 jobs trying to make ends meet, and food stamps were the only way she could get her 3 kids a present. She played this up, and the kids got excited about this. That's an awesome mom though. I had a student who was diagnosed with leukemia, went into remission, returned to school. Shortly after, his sister was diagnosed with skin cancer. A few weeks later, his brother was killed in a road traffic accident. One day he came to see me and just hung around my classroom door. I asked him if there was something he wanted and to come in. He walked in, sat down and simply said, "I just wanted to stop. I don't know what I've done." Then he sobbed. We ended up crying together for the entire break. Absolutely heartbreaking. A 2nd grader told me that he was feeling weird and tired that day because he didn't sleep much the night before because people were shooting each other on his street, and his dad went out to see what was happening and didn't come back until morning. He was so worried he hadn't slept at all. Another student told me he couldn't take his ADHD medicine because his mommy sold it for food. I keep seeing all of these stories about food. My school does a little thing that isn't much, but definitely helps. Every Friday, kids with a low income is sent home with a sack of food, usually including water, juice, a can of tuna, a small bag of chips, raisins, and other small non-perishables. It's a way a kid can have a meal or two if they otherwise aren't able to. When I taught elementary school, I had a kindergarten kid that was always at the school. He'd show up super early and leave super late. He was in a before and after school program called MELC. They give the kids whose parents work breakfast and dinner. It was right before April break and I can't remember why, but I mentioned we were going to be off of school for a week. He started crying and said, "But miss, how am I going to eat if I'm not here?" I almost cried with him. His parents work all day long. Reported it to the admin, but I don't think anything came of it. He might have stayed with other family for the week. He seemed fine when we came back. Kindergarten kid. He started crying and said, "But miss, how am I going to eat if I'm not here?" That's absolutely heartbreaking. A 5-year-old shouldn't ever fear not having food. It makes me wonder how many days he went hungry in the past to teach him to worry about when/if he'll next eat. Many years ago I was teaching in a private school for children with emotional impairment and behavioral difficulties. I had a 6-year-old boy in class that had an upcoming court date about his rape by his mother's boyfriend. The rape happened when he was 4 years old. He looked at me with intensity and asked, "Do you think that the judge would let go into rapist's cell and beat him up? I'm so much bigger now, and I have been practicing. Oh, and after, could I live with you? Because my mom wants to live with him when he gets out of jail and I won't be able to live there anymore." In my second year of teaching, I had one of my 5th grade students approach me in almost tears and asked if I could talk to her outside our room one morning. I had a rough class that year, so at first I thought someone said something to her. Then she broke down and told me her stepfather had been sexually abusing her for a while and threatened to kill her, her mom and her baby brother if she told. I don't know what made her finally ready to tell someone, but I was so happy she did. The worst part though was trying to get her help right then. I remember trying to get our social worker, but she was out of the building, so I ran to my principal's office. I couldn't get in because there was a group of teachers arguing and being catty to each other because one girl got a baby shower thrown by our superintendent and the other one didn't. So they had been saying things behind each other's backs and it was just dumb drama. I was furious. I had a child who was having serious issues and they were concerned about a baby shower and who was the favorite. I'll never forget that. Fast forward to last year and I went to the middle school and saw her. She ran up to me screaming and crying and gave me the biggest and best hug I have ever received. She's doing great now. I have 2 from the same open university in an economically depressed area. 1. With tears, "Can I please turn in my paper next week instead of next class because my brother just got convicted and they are asking for the death penalty. Poor kid. That's a hell of a lot to handle at 18. 2. This was an essay on the topic of why are you here? The student, an older woman in a freshman comp class, wrote that she'd had her kids at a young age, and now that they were grown, she wanted to show them that she could still make something of herself. And even though her husband told her that he would leave her if she went to college, she came anyway. Thank God it was a diagnostic essay, because how the hell would you grade that? I just wanted to cheer and hug her. I had a kid with a rare brain disorder where, according to his doctor, one half of his brain was 2 years behind and one was 2 years ahead of schedule, or something like that. Couldn't find any info about it online. This resulted in unusually strong academic ability, but very poor emotional regulation. One day on the playground the little guy was doing some homework. I looked at him and said something to the effect of "Go be a kid." He said, "Well, I don't have time to be a kid." A little background. His mother makes him spend a lot of time at home doing brain trains, little cognitive exercises to support the hemisphere of his brain that isn't developed. These are time consuming and challenging. So, what he said hit me hard. Don't even know why. Kid is mature, but the genetic lottery stripped him of his youth. Edit. 2nd grade. I was an astronomy teacher in my country, one of South America, and the kid was in 4th grade. We were doing a model of the Earth in Play-Doh, and at the end we needed to cut it to see the layers. I was using a cutter, and I was the only one that could do it, because of security reasons. I left the cutter on the table and I went to help a student finish the last layer. When I came back the cutter was gone. That is bad. Really bad. So I started to ask to the kids if someone took it. I told them everything will be okay. I wouldn't make a big problem about it, but I needed the cutter back. One girl found it next to a boy. She told me, "I saw it falling from his pants." I took the kid outside and he started to cry. I didn't know what's going on, so the conversation was this. Me, tell me the truth. You're not in trouble. I just want to know why you did it. I just needed the cutter to defend myself and my family, but don't tell anyone. I don't want to be in trouble, please. Don't say anything. Me, why? Are you in danger? Something is bad at your home? My stepfather hits me every time I have a bad note from the school and hits my mom all the time. I need to defend them. Me, it's okay. Everything will be okay. I just hugged him. I tried to not cry and ask for help in the school through teachers and psychologist. I still think about him, and that was 2 years ago. So many stories in that way, so many kids, and sometimes you feel hopeless. Thank you for watching Reddit. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more r/AskReddit videos. Share your stories in the comments section below.